Good evening. It is Tuesday, April 18th, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show Post, live streaming on Facebook Live and our Positional Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We'll provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports this evening. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined this evening by two of my partners in crime right now. We got a third one going to be joining us shortly. What's going on, J3? How you feeling this evening?
What's up, Big Reg? What's up, Sense? What's happening?
J3?
Sense is in the building. What's going on, partner?
What's going on, fellas? Big Reg, J3, Broker, soon to pop on in a minute. I'm ready to talk some sports. Let's get it.
And as Sense just said, the professor will be joining us shortly. So let's get into it. This evening, we're going to give you some quick hits, and then we're going to do NBA playoff hard, get you a review of what's going on with the play-in tournament in the first round, talk a little Major League Baseball. And, of course, we're going to finish it off with our final post of the evening. So, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. So, please sit back and relax and enjoy Post on the Positional Sports Talk Show channel. Fellas, we got some amazing news this afternoon. It broke early this afternoon. Bills safety Damar Hamlin has been fully cleared to return to all football activities per Buffalo Bills GM Brandon Beane. That is crazy, considering 3.5 months ago, that young man literally died on the field and they brought him back to life.
Yeah,
that just goes to show God does work miracles, for real.
Amen. That's proof that God is real.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So I just wish that Damar takes his time and doesn't rush his body and, more importantly, his mind to trying to do something. The Bills say they're supporting him and just taking his time. So just do your thing, Damar. Take your time. And if you're ready to get back on that field later this fall, then do that. But don't rush it. Let your body and your mind heal correctly.
I mean, it's easier for us to say, but we all know he has that hunger for football. So he's going to get back on that field as soon as he can. Come on, let's be real.
He is.
Because if it was us, we'd be the same way.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm just hoping that wiser heads will prevail and just ease him in. I'm saying don't.
I'm not saying just pace yourself. That's all. Just pace yourself.
Just like if somebody was coming off a major knee injury, that they ease him in, they don't rush him, let him take his time. But I know what you're saying, J3. I know what you're saying.
Consider the position that he plays. Consider where his heart is. You know he's gonna be out there as soon as he can.
Oh yeah. Even when he's out there, I'm saying just pace yourself. Don't go full throttle and
Well, he can't play his position without going full throttle.
Exactly.
It's safety. You got to go full throttle.
True. I'm just thinking,
or you can't be on the field. So
right.
Let's just hope Santa heads prevail. To your point.
Also, congrats to the University of Oklahoma women's gymnastics team. We always try to point out excellence when it's being done.
Mm-hmm.
They just won their 6th national championship in the past 9 years.
Dynasty.
Just back to back. They won last year, came back, won it again this year. And like I said, 6 in 9 years. They beat the University of Florida for the title in the 2nd straight season. So, I mean, if you're a Gator, you got to be hurting. I mean, by fractions of a point, you end up losing. So, and this is the same university. You talking about a university that supports women's athletics? This is the same university that had the historic softball team from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, fellas? The softball team this year is 39-1.
What's the water down there?
After losing the best player arguably ever to play softball from their organization who graduated, they're 39-1 this year. So,
sounds like they got the formula for a winning season in softball. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, shout out to University of Oklahoma supporting their women the right way and putting together powerhouse programs in multiple sports. Lastly, for the ladies, we got to put a special shout out to Florida Gator gymnast Trinity Thomas. If you never heard that name, Google her. Trinity Thomas just tied the NCAA record for the most perfect 10 scores in a career, and she hit it on her last event of her last run through to get to tie the score. And Miss Thomas is one of the few African-American gymnasts who's been a multiple-time All-American and could compete on the Olympic level, but chose to go to college. So shout out to Trinity Thomas for a great career. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Pardon me real quick. Something in my eye. DC Defenders, 8-1.
Woo!
Wrapped
DC,
up-
stand up.
Wrapped up the North Division over the weekend and guaranteed home field advantage in the playoffs.
That's right.
Another nail biter, though. Since they started 6-0, they've
Don't
been
get
playing
me started.
around. And that defense, which was
Yeah, Greg
killing
Williams.
everybody.
Mhm. Yeah, that's that Greg Williams defense. I'm gonna
Swear
call
to
it like
God.
it is.
So
And you know what, Big Reg? And I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I love Reggie Barlow, but he has to pick a quarterback. He is messing up the flow of
Yes.
the offense every time he wants to put King in and Malu. I can't pronounce his name, but every time one of them gets something going, the next series he putting in the other guy. Gotta
Yeah,
stop
he needs
doing
to
that.
stick with King.
yeah, De'Aaron King actually almost gave that game away
Mm.
over the weekend. And Tamalu was doing well, moving the thing, but yeah, they're gonna have to figure that out. The Houston Roughnecks, who are 6-3, wrapped up the South Division, so they're gonna have home field advantage in their playoff game. One more week of the regular season of the XFL, and then the following week we'll have the 4-team playoff, and then the week after that the championship. The USFL began their second season over the weekend, and I peeked in. Fellas, there's a huge difference in stadium attendance between XFL games and the USFL. If you didn't check them out over the weekend, just peep and look at the stadiums that the USFL teams are playing in, because for the first season, they played every game in Birmingham, even though the teams were all around the country. Now they've got them playing in their different areas, and it was barren.
Mm.
It was barren
They need more
compared to the
promotion.
XFL, where you got the famous, world famous now, Bear Snake coming from Audi Field in DC. The St. Louis Battlehawks just had the largest crowd in XFL history. They sold out the St. Louis Football Stadium.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
both of these leagues aren't going to survive. I give them another 2 years before they figure it out. The one thing USFL has is they got that Fox money behind them. But
I would give the XFL a better chance of surviving than the USFL, all based on the promotion. You got The Rock behind it, and you got The Rock and the ESPN promote. I mean, I could definitely see that surviving longer than the USFL.
Yeah, but hasn't the USFL been in existence longer than the XFL?
just one season. They played last year.
Okay.
Just one season. So now some people might say, well, the XFL is new, so that's why it's having. Last year, the USFL, even though all the games were in Birmingham, had very light turnout except for the first 2 games.
Mhm.
So that's an issue. Visually, just watching the game and turn on and seeing the teams playing in empty stadiums, you're like, what's this, a Division III football team playing?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm just
that's
saying.
a little alarming.
And look, the XFL was smart because they have a partnership with the NFL. They're not coming out competing with the NFL. So I think that was ingenious by The Rock and Miss Garcia to actually do that and to sort of be like a minor league or pipeline into the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is why, again, I give them a better chance of surviving, all because of the connections that they have, and with someone like The Rock behind it. Like I don't see that folding anytime soon.
Yo, Rock's the famous figurehead, Miss Danny Garcia is the brains behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's doing her
good
thing.
tandem, a very good tandem.
She's doing her thing. All right, fellas, the Boston Bruins, they did it. Professor's favorite subject that he hates to hear about. They set all the records.
Wow.
Did their thing. Even though they struggled in the first game of the first round in the playoffs, the NHL playoffs kicked off yesterday with 4 games. The Bruins did win their first game 3-1, but started off sluggish, was actually down 1-0 and came back. But it's going to be very interesting. Everybody is figuring that the Bruins are going to beat the odds because, as I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, the points leader in the NHL has not made it to the Stanley Cup in over a decade. So being the best team in the regular season has been good. But people think that they're going to come out of the Eastern Conference and make it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. Chicago Blackhawks were the last ones to do it.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Over on the Western Conference, though, that should be a dogfight. You got the defending champion, Colorado Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights that continue to knock on that door, Dallas Stars, who won their first game yesterday, and then the team with the best playing hockey, Edmonton Oilers, all vying to come out of the Western Conference. So that should be fun.
Mm.
And speaking of the Oilers forward Connor McDavid, like I said, the best playing hockey today, joined the mystical 150-point club in the season. He was the first person since Mario Lemieux of the Pittsburgh Penguins to lead the league in both goals and assists in the same season.
He
scoring
balling.
153 total points.
He balling.
He balling.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And being with an original 6 franchise, they're trying to, hoping the Oilers he can bring back, the Gretzky fame when Gretzky and Messier and all them was doing multiple championships. They've got a lethal offense, but it'll be interesting because it's been, I think, more than 3 decades since the Oilers have made it to the finals. Lastly, before we get into this NBA, we got to talk about the big news that happened yesterday. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles agreed to a 5-year, $255 million extension.
Money.
Now, we always give you the straight scoop because you're going to hear that 255 and be like, oh, yeah, that's $51 million a year. Jalen is the highest annual average per year at $51 million a year. But the real number is this. Jalen agreed to this deal with a $23.3 million signing bonus. So this is very friendly to the Eagles. A lot of times when Dak signed with Dallas, Dak got like $80 million at signing and was guaranteed like $95 million in the first year and a half. So they had to spread that money. The way this deal is set up, Jalen Hurts' cap number over the next 4 seasons is going to not get higher than like $32 million.
So let me ask you this. By Jalen signing this contract, how does that make, or how do you think Lamar Jackson feels?
Yeah, that's a very good question because this is basically the deal that the Ravens originally offered Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
They offered Lamar, from what's been reported, a 5-year, $251 million deal, which would made him the highest per annual value deal with like 120 guaranteed. Now, see, if Jalen's money of that 255, only 110 is guaranteed at signing. Mm-hmm. So he's only guaranteed to see 110. So that's $145 million sitting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after 1 year, he's going to be guaranteed another $19 million. So let's round it up. So $130 million out of that 255 is guaranteed. So in 3 years, the Eagles could cut bait if needed. And $125 million gone. So,
however,
wow.
with the potential and the skill set that he's already proven, that we know he's only going to get better, he's guaranteed to make more than that when the contract ends.
Yeah, and I just want to go a little deeper into it, just like keeping it in the positive light. I want to give a huge shout out and shine a light on Nicole Lynn. Like the way she brokered that deal and becoming like the first Black woman to ever do so is a huge achievement. And also, I didn't even know Clutch Sports was involved in that. She's the president of football operations at Clutch Sports Group. So This is also a huge win for Clutch Sports and Rich Paul.
Absolutely. People are not happy about Rich Paul getting his nose into the NFL because he went from, oh, nobody ain't worried about him. He just got LeBron to the most powerful agent in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got the MVP runner-up and all-pro quarterback that just got a brand new deal. So he's going to get more clients from that. So
Chase Young is with Clutch, actually. I heard Chase Young is with Clutch. So that's another, yeah.
Well, J3, you asked the question, how does Lamar Jackson feel right now? I'm sure he's pissed because this turns his whole negotiation on top of his head because he's not going to get the money that Deshaun Watson got. He's not going to get those guarantees. Now you got Jalen Hurts, you got Herbert coming up, you got Burrow coming up after that. What are their deals going to look like? If they're not even going to approach what Deshaun Watson got, then what hope does Jackson have now at holding out trying to get this guaranteed money north of $200 million? I really don't think it's going to happen. Now, the stalemate is, does he go back to Baltimore and take a deal that they're going to give him? Or is he still going to say, I'm out, I still want to be with another team, and then take the best deal that's offered to him out there now? I still don't think he's going to be a Baltimore Raven. So
I don't know. I think it's the former because, the rumor mill is saying that Baltimore's trying to, see if they could get DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know how true that is, but maybe trying to appease him by getting him some weapons to get him to come back might be a ploy that Baltimore is using right now.
Don't forget the Jets don't have their quarterback yet. So that, to me, that issue is still lingering out there too, because there's no guarantee that Aaron Rodgers is going to suit up for them either.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I heard that Lamar did approach the Ravens about, upgrading the wide receiver core, and he asked for OBJ and D-Hop, but they told him they can only do one. So that's why they signed OBJ. So
do you trust that their offense is actually going to change the way?
Well, they got a whole new offensive coordinator.
I know. But do you feel that they are going to cater to Lamar's skill set and run that offense a totally different way?
Yeah, I think the offense is going to drastically change. That's where I think they realized that they were at the end of their run trying to run that offense, and the fact that it was getting with the training staff that they had before, and the fact that they were such a physical team that it was getting a lot of their players injured. So I think they're trying to play a different style of offense.
Jalen actually beat you to it, Big Red. She said, yeah, before you started talking.
Yeah. I definitely think we should see something different. I think Lamar needs to play this now. It definitely hurt his negotiating skill because now that's 3 quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. He could have said previously, Kyler has never been as good as me, so I deserve more than Kyler. And he can still say that. And he say, Russ is old.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got somebody who has a similar style
Hurts.
with Hurts, who's younger than you by a couple of years, who just went to the Super Bowl, and he agreed to this type of ordinary, normal deal. So I think Lamar just needs to play this out and hope that the other two quarterbacks sign their deals, wait to the last minute, see what the Ravens are going to do, and if they don't change much in the long-term deal, I heard that they were offering him something like to pay him what the exclusive tag would have been, which was like $45, $46 million for 1 year. Wait to the last minute, agree to that, sign a 1-year deal, and then next year become a free agent, and he'd be the top free agent in the NFL.
Time will tell. See what happens.
Yeah, but
stay tuned.
The other quarterbacks not following his lead and demanding a fully guaranteed contract, which would have pushed the whole NFL to move in that direction, at least for the quarterbacks, undercut him. So, all right, so let's get up to this NBA. Fellas, after 4 seasons, I got to admit, this play-in tournament was a brilliant idea. Because you basically got March Madness in the NBA for 3 days.
Yeah.
Win or go home, game 7, however you want to put it. And the crowd in each location was hype. The games were great. And, I mean, we got some good playing games. I mean, with the exception of the Miami Heat, who didn't show up in their first game.
I don't know what that was about.
I mean, it just seemed like they wasn't interested in playing basketball, so they allowed the Hawks to beat them 116-105, and the game wasn't as close as that score sounds. But then they bounced back and played a good game because Jimmy Buckets put the team on his back and beat the Chicago Bulls, who knocked out the Toronto Raptors thanks to DeMar DeRozan's daughter screaming like a banshee in the audience and making them shoot under 50% from the free throw line. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Distracted.
She had that thing on point, and she would look calm and cool, sit there watching it right when his great releasing. She let that screak out. Oh my goodness.
But you know what was despicable about that? I'm glad you brought her up. Do y'all know that little girl got death threats, man? What is wrong with people in this world? Like, what is wrong with them?
That's when fandom goes too far, man.
Takes
like
sports way too serious.
Like even down to like, you know, and I know we're gonna get to this game in a minute, but even with this Suns fan getting that Russ the other day, and Russ basically had to like get up in his face, tell him to watch his mouth. Like this is getting a little too out of hand.
It was already bad, and then when you add legalized gambling and people losing money and sitting in the stadiums, betting on their apps on their phones, then mad because they just lost some money saying stupid stuff. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, if you talking about fans, let's talk about that fan that was fussing and cussing at E40 at the Golden State game. I mean Sacramento game. Like really?
Yeah.
And they ain't do nothing to her, but they escorted him out.
40 out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, they spin that and said they asked him to sit down, that the lady was asking him to sit down because they couldn't see. So you know they go he a visiting fan, so they don't care about him. And you know, rapper, da. So yeah, they pushed it all on him, you know, not saying anything about the fan that was causing the ruckus. So
straight racism in your face, plain and simple. Call it what you want, but I'm gonna tell you what it is.
That's why we love you, J3.
Yeah, since your LA Lakers, it was ugly. It was tough.
It was ugly.
They pulled it out in overtime to beat the Timberwolves 108-102 to get that 7th seed.
Man. But I mean, and to your point, real quick, that's why that's the other beautiful thing about this, and exciting thing about the playing now. It's like that sense of urgency. It's like a March Madness where you like put it all out on the floor, like you grind to the end. And thankfully, the Lakers did that. Whew.
Absolutely. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the New Orleans Pelicans, and that wasn't the story of the game, unfortunately. The story of the game, of course, was Zion before the game, not only just shooting around, he doing tomahawk dunks and stuff and not playing in the game. I mean, come on. The optics were terrible. You can't be out on the court before the game where everybody watching.
Yeah,
and then not play.
Get in. Like, oh, what is Zion about to play?
If I was a fan and I was at that game, I'd be straight booing them the whole time because there's no way you're going to sit up here and practice before the game and then don't get on the court. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to work out and all that. Do that before anybody's in that stadium and get that out the way. Just terrible optics. And whoever on New Orleans staff allowed him to do that.
Need to be, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to call for anybody's job, but that
was
stupid.
Fined.
Yeah.
Fined. Yeah, not fired, fined.
Fake optics. That was fake optics.
Yeah. So, but it was good to see that, again, the teams that lost the 7-8 game bounced back and won to get into the playoffs. So nobody who originally was slated to be in the playoffs wasn't in. So the Timberwolves bounced back, beat Oklahoma City real easy. So let's get to these actual games. And as our cohort Ed says, the best team isn't going to win this championship. It's going to be who can survive the attrition of the playoffs. Because it's ugly early.
Different monster, baby.
I mean, Professor, we got to start with your group. Milwaukee Bucks. Early in the second quarter, Giannis goes up for a layup. Kevin Love slides in. That's a Kevin Love move. He tries to take a bunch of charges, catches Giannis wrong. Giannis falls and can't protect himself and lands square on his back.
Ouch.
That changes the whole playoffs for Milwaukee. Because even if he can come back and play, you're never going to know when that might tighten up.
Right. And you know players are going to gun for that injury. They're going to try to, like, poke that back.
Oh, absolutely. Banging them, hitting them every time. So that literally changes the Bucks' whole season like that. And then in the same game, Tyler Hero trying to go for a steal. That looked like an innocent play, stuck his hand out and breaks his shooting hand. He's done for probably the playoffs. They say the best case scenario is he's going to have surgery this week.
Oh, no, he out.
The best case scenario is if they make it to the NBA Finals, he might be able to return.
Well, so, first of all, did we really think Miami was going to go deep in the playoffs?
I mean,
well, the way Jimmy Buckets played in that first game,
I didn't think they was going to beat Milwaukee in the first game. So
he was the best player on the court after Giannis went out with the injury.
Come on now, right? I'm saying,
calm down. They wouldn't have beaten Milwaukee if Giannis played. So you taking it too far on that one.
I said once he was injured, Jimmy Buckets took over that game. So now you got to see who's going to step up for Milwaukee and slow Jimmy down.
Oh yeah, I mean, but Milwaukee's more than capable of having a next man up to, step in Giannis's place and they'll bounce back. Not to worry, Professor. They'll be all right. They did something, BJ, and whatever you did, it worked. So keep it up.
The Celtics are just putting it on the Hawks. They destroyed them in the first game. The 112-99 win doesn't even go to show how bad that game was in the second half. Right now, they're up 17 in the third quarter of Atlanta. So that looked like that's going to go, at best, a gentleman's sweep of 5, but they might get swept.
Atlanta just happy they made the playoffs. Come on,
right?
man.
They didn't expect to make it that far.
Hell
right?
no.
The same can be said, unfortunately, about the 76ers Brooklyn Nets series. I mean,
Whew.
it looked like the Nets came to play yesterday for the first half, and then
Mhm.
Doc cussed out the 76ers. Literally, first play of the second half, they didn't run the play. He called timeout, cussed them out, and then they shut it down and just controlled the game from then on. Easy win, 96-84. So they're up 2-0.
I don't think it was that easy. In my opinion, because I watched that game, I think what happened was in the first half, the Nets were actually making shots. Second half, they weren't.
They weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't because Cam was he was cooking in the first half. Second half,
like 24, 26 in the first half.
UNC, All Hail Nation.
And then the second half, it was like they couldn't buy buckets. So and like you said, the 76ers started hitting their shots. So it was tale of two different halves.
You think they were possibly playing down to their competition, thinking like, okay, well, we can turn it on when we want to?
No, I don't agree with that at all. If you actually watch the game like I did, the only person that was really balling throughout the whole game was Maxey. Maxey was the only one going up and down
34.
Yeah, he was. I mean, and he was dishing the ball. Everybody else was playing to me just being there. Well, I ain't gonna say that because Tobias Harris, he was balling too when he was on the court. But besides those two, if it wasn't for the fact that the Nets weren't making their shots, that game could have been a blowout.
It could have been a Nets game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now it's game 3 in Brooklyn. So we shall see.
Game 3 in Brooklyn Thursday. The Bucks play their next game Wednesday. Like I said, Celtics are dominating game 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, in the East, the Cavaliers are playing the New York Knicks. And fellas, if I didn't see it, I couldn't believe it. Randall just smacked Jalen Brunson in the eye accidentally.
And we was talking about it before the game. Garland actually showing up.
So
that's making a difference for Cleveland because they were hurting the last game. He was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, game 1, it looked like it was the New York Knicks against one man, and now, Cleveland showing up. They fighting back. So
somewhere in America, Stephen A. Smith is tearing out what's left of his hair out.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Agreed.
Over in the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets just handled their business.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I see that being a sweep, man.
Killed the Timberwolves. They had 5 players in double figures. Nobody had to really exert themselves. Won by 29. It was an easy game.
That's a sweep.
They play again on Wednesday. The series that one of the 2 series everybody's looking for in the West. Your Lakers showed out. And it wasn't the Lakers people were thinking was going to show out. Rui Hachimura, ex-Wizard.
Oh my goodness!
Came in off the bench and killed Memphis. They was treating him like he was a scrub, and he dropped 27.
I must have forgot. No, 29.
He was burying threes like 29. They were layups. I mean, he was shooting threes like they were layups.
And then when they started contesting the threes, he's going right around to the bucket. So,
man got game, yes.
And then I am him.
I'm him.
Austin Reeves. Oh, he
Kobe
took
the Ozarks
in the fourth quarter.
Blocking shots, shooting shots. I'm like, well, what?
Yo, I got to give the Lakers coaching staff, their developmental staff, major props. They were able to help Rui fix his jumper because that was his main issue here in Washington, why he couldn't stay on the court, because they said they needed him to be able to effectively shoot from the 3. Well, obviously their coaches weren't good enough to work with him and fix it. He's gone to the Lakers, been there less than half a season, and has fixed that jumper already. And the confidence they get in Austin Reeves, who was a G League player,
undrafted,
started on the bench, now is starting. Now he is arguably game in and game out the second best player on the court for the Lakers.
He's gonna get that bag come off season. That's for sure.
Yeah. You know who that's bad news for? The starting point guard.
Schroeder.
No.
Russell.
Oh.
Yeah. He gonna look for a big payday too.
They need to buy his ticket now out of town.
At times, you don't even know he's on the court.
I watched him. I'm like, is he on the court? Like, what is he there for? He sucks, man.
He'll show up.
Johnny, you know he don't deserve to wear a Laker uniform. He didn't deserve it the first time he was there.
He's gotten us out of some
he's still trying to, instead of play team ball, he's still trying to show that he can be a star.
I swore
instead of just fitting in. So they're gonna take that $30-something million. They're gonna take that $30-something million they was giving him and pass that on to
Reeves.
I am him. Give him half of it and then pick up somebody else and keep it moving and build that team around them. But the series, and I gotta start off by saying I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Like the beam.
Sacramento.
Them Sacramento Kings.
Lord, man, they ain't playing. Yeah, not playing.
Shout out to Mike Brown. He used the regular season to give his players confidence on the offense. When we talked all year, they ain't playing no defense. He wanted to make sure that they was ready offensively to match up with anybody. They ended up the season with the best points per game average and the best offensive efficiency. And then out of nowhere, starting the playoffs, these dudes are D'ing up. They are up in Golden State.
Oh,
shout
man.
Out to Monk. Shout out to Monk.
Monk, Mitchell, Davion Mitchell. That was a sneaky good.
Man.
Off night is up in Steph. He grabbing them, he holding them, he pushing them, and the refs are letting them play that way.
No,
and Golden State does not like that.
Come on, y'all. What's Golden State's road record? To me, if they lose at home, it's over. But they've been abysmal this whole year on the road. So until they show me that they can go into San Francisco and beat them in their own building, I don't think they got it just yet.
I don't know.
But the key is they're not gonna have to win in San Francisco. The way they play inside that arena in Sacktown.
If they force a game 7, I would take Golden State in Sacramento. If they force a game 7, I think that championship pedigree will come in and they would take a game 7. If it gets to a game 7.
Plus, Draymond got to keep himself out of foul trouble because I don't know why he wasn't suspended again. That was a blatant step on
because he grabbed not only grabbed his ankle, he grabbed it and twisted his ankle.
Exactly.
He could have hurt that man's knee, ankle, hip.
Professor J, I would agree with you if I saw some aggression in Klay Thompson. I think he would be the key. Wiggins did his thing, Steph did his thing, but I didn't see Klay Thompson playing as aggressive as he could. Now, I'm going to tell you who the person that really shocked me in that second game was Harrison Barnes.
Yo,
I was like, why didn't you do this with the Warriors?
Yeah.
We always knew he had the potential, but he didn't show up like he did that second game. That second game, he was playing like
Harrison Barnes, man.
Did you do that when you was in Carolina? What happened to it when you was with the Warriors? So yeah, I think he made the difference.
Like that in Dallas too. I remember when he played for Dallas.
Y'all know what it is, man. Golden State fat off the hog, man. They got 4 championships, man. They not sweating.
Yeah, I agree with BJ.
They're not hungry no more.
Turnovers, they throw the ball away so much and so
part
recklessly.
Yeah.
And because Mike Brown knows their offense so well and how they play, he's got the Kings in the passing lanes. So them little reckless passes they can't get them through. So that's throwing the whole offense out. And their $30 million man has been a ghost.
From a pool.
The pool
Yeah.
party has been regular. The big pool has been closed.
Drained.
The kiddie pool is open. He on the bench clapping, and he in at the end of the game when they losing.
So do I hear y'all underline saying that Steve Kerr can't get these boys to adjust? Is that what I'm hearing?
I would agree.
He's getting exposed. That's what he's getting.
I would agree. I would agree.
He's getting exposed.
I'm saying, go ahead, J3.
I was gonna say, and the sad part about it is even the bench is not coming in and contributing like they have done in the past. I mean, you got Kuminga coming in, fouling. You got what's the other dude? Moody doing the same thing, like looking lost on the court. Like, what's going on? Did they lose the edge of competing, or are they just going through the motions just because they're there?
And where I say Kerr comes in real quick is that he's kind of like, he just always to me had like that relaxed type of mentality, and that's probably because he's just always, they were winning so much, he kind of didn't have that to worry about. But like, it's these type of moments where you need somebody to light a fire under your ass and to get in your face and scream. And I don't know if Kerr has that.
Nah, that's not his person.
The person who used to be able to do that,
Mark Jackson,
gave that up when he punched Jordan Poole in the face.
Draymond. Draymond.
Yep.
And that's what's missing. The young cats are not connected with the older group.
Mm-hmm.
And Dante DiVincenzo is trying to bridge the gap, but it's not working. And that's a problem because they basically looking at a younger mirror image of themselves playing the Kings, somebody that knows them intimately, and they are not scared.
Nope.
And De'Aaron Fox has been the best player on the floor for the first 2 games.
And won the league's ever clutch player of the year, I just found out.
Yep, first ever one. Yep.
So, well deserved.
Shout out. Speaking of another award, shout out to Jaren Jackson Jr., who yesterday won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, beating out Brook Lopez and Cavaliers Evan Mobley, becoming the second youngest ever to do that at 23 years old, just a few months behind Dwight Howard when he did it, joining Alvin Robinson and Kawhi Leonard as the only other 23-year-olds to win that award. So
I wish he was a wizard, man.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
And Daddy was a Hoya. If they'd have had a legitimate program, he could have been at Georgetown for his year in college. So we will keep you abreast. The Cavaliers are up at halftime on the Knicks. And that game is at the half.
20.
Garland showed up because he got 27 right now.
Okay, Cavs.
Yeah.
They're putting it on them.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta's closed down the Boston lead. It's 9 points in the fourth quarter, and they're trying to bring it back. So we will see if that'll work.
Real quick, let's get into this Suns and Clippers game. I just wanted to get y'all takes on that because that was unexpected to me. Chris Paul couldn't buy a bucket to save his life.
Chris washed up, man.
Neither could Westbrook.
But at least his energy paid off on the defensive side, and with the assists, he was still able to impact the game with his energy, even though he had a horrible shooting night.
Yeah, but you got to ease up off of CP3, man. He's not there to win that championship. It's supposed to be our man KD, and it's supposed to be Booker. They supposed to be the ones leading the way. So you can't trash CP3. He just there to run the offense.
I ain't trashing him.
Do what he needs to. Yeah, but
Booker couldn't really hit shots like that either. Yeah, Booker wasn't really hitting shots like that. Like it was
hungry.
That's what I'm saying. You got to look at those two cats and say what's going on with them.
They ain't hungry.
And how you gonna let KD got Kawhi on him? Kawhi is a lockdown defender.
And guess what? playoff Kawhi showed up in game one.
Oh my goodness.
He did.
Kawhi Jordan.
Kawhi was like, okay, I'm the best guy on this court.
Hey, Big
He
Red.
was hitting everything.
Big Red. When you play half a season for 4 years, you should be fresh and ready for the playoffs.
Hey, maybe there's a method to his madness.
Kawhi Jordan,
Yeah.
as Kendrick would call him.
The
He was
claw.
hitting everything. The mid-range, the threes. I'm like, dang, Kawhi.
Mhm.
That low management, something else, ain't it?
Right, yeah, exactly.
So
I
yeah,
bet.
that should be an interesting game 2. Their game 2 is tonight.
Mhm.
So yeah, if the Suns go down 0-2 at home,
Woo.
Yeah.
that's over.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
over. And KD, I know he was just trying to fit in. KD gonna have to take over and lead the Suns, and Devin is gonna have to step back a little bit if they want to compete.
And I don't want to hear no talk from Stephen A. Real quick, I'm sorry, cuz I don't want to hear no talk from Stephen A. about KD being the best player on the planet no more if the Suns don't win this. Because if you're supposed to be the best player on the planet, you supposed to take over that game. Nah.
Hey, I take your 1A and give you a 1B. Remember all this talk about Devin Booker was supposed to be Kobe Bryant, the next incarnation of Kobe Bryant? He don't look nothing like no Mamba. Out there.
Nothing.
They need to cut that out.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we got to talk a little baseball.
Yeah.
Talk about the 3-seam a little bit. The Major League Baseball season kicked off already. It's in basically week 3 or so. We here in the DMV area used to have a proud baseball team, the Washington Nationals, but they win a championship. COVID hit. They can't celebrate the championship. And now, because of COVID and the owners' losses in their other businesses, they are the second team in the DMV that are looking to sell. We all have read the stories about the Commanders, and Senses has been happy about how that's looking like. That's hopefully will happen next month. Well, the Washington Nationals are also on the market, so it's just sad to go from a champion team 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Just 4 years ago.
To a bunch of prospects, basically, because they've traded away or let all their top players, and they had some monsters.
I know.
Soto, Scherzer.
Yeah. The only thing they got left is Victor Robles. That's it. That's it.
And how long is he going to want to stay in Washington
Exactly.
in a rebuild?
Even the manager.
Yeah, he playing his heart out, but it's for a moribund franchise right now, man. They just it's tough to watch, man. I tried to watch some Nats games, man. It's just tough to watch because now I'm trying to learn all these new names, and it's nothing more frustrating than that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So hopefully the Lerner family can come to some resolution and get this taken care of so we can get new ownership that's got some money, who can not only build the farm system, but actually bring in and keep some young major league talent and help bring back this franchise.
Bezos.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I don't think he wants to buy a team.
Really? You don't think so?
I mean, with his connection with the NFL, with the Amazon deal, I think that's his inroads to it. If he wanted a team, he could write a check for a team. He ain't even got financing. He could write a check for any
pretty much.
professional sports team in the world.
Must be nice.
He can make his own sports team.
True that.
Must be nice.
Everybody keeps bringing his name, but if he wanted a team, it would have happened. So
yeah.
So who y'all like in the East this year? The ALL, not even just the East. Who y'all like in the American League? Who y'all think might have a nice run this year and make it to the playoffs? We're not picking any champions yet because we got to see how things happen.
You got to say Yankees. And I mean the Devil Rays.
If Giancarlo can stay healthy and give Aaron Judge and the Mayhew some help, man, they'll be all right. But this Bam already pulled a hamstring.
That's just like asking that is AD going to be healthy for a season?
Stop it. He came back. He came back from that long thing. So,
I'm not saying that they're going to miss games. Giancarlo going to miss games. He going to miss anywhere from 25 to 50 games a minimum with a tight hamstring, a tweet abductor muscle.
Yeah.
He's so muscled up that any kind of false, if he don't stretch right, he out for 2 weeks.
God. And you know what? Garrett Cole is already 4-0 and got like 33 strikeouts. Man, he is on fire, man. Yeah. My concern is they don't have a lot of pitching to back him up. That's the thing that makes me nervous because that's what gets them in the postseason. It's their lack of pitching, and then their bats go cold. But yeah, I really think the Yankees are going to take the East. I mean, I know we like Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay, they started out 13-0, but they started coming back to earth. I think they lost 3 games now, but their first 13 games were against, powder puffs, man. So they kind of built up their roster, looking exciting doing it. But we all look exciting if we beat up on people who should be in the minor league system. So I'm not really buying everything that Tampa Bay is selling right now. I'm not saying they're not a good team, but I think the Yankees are still have a stranglehold on the AL East.
Yeah. Over in the AL West, the Rangers kind of jumped out early, but the Houston Astros, after, I think they had their championship sluggish start, and somebody been partying a little longer than they probably should have and didn't start, working out again. Mm-hmm. I still like Dusty to get the Houston Astros back going and make a solid playoff run over in the West. Because I don't trust the Rangers. I don't think they have anything out there. And with the Los Angeles Angels, they got a hell of a squad on paper.
Shohei?
Mike Trout, he just like Giancarlo. Put him down for missing 25 to 50 games a season. He'd been the best player in baseball for the last half decade, and he missed almost half a season.
Yeah, that's Trout. Still getting paid, though.
Oh, getting paid. And going to get paid for a long time. But he's going to be playing without Shohei unless he stay healthy this year, because Shohei ain't going to keep doing this. Yeah,
and you know who will roll out that checkbook for Shohei? The Bronx Bombers. They will write that check to bring him to New York.
The LA Dodgers, the New York Mets with their new big fat pocket owner. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a few teams.
I see you, J3.
Ching ching, ching ching.
Yeah. Speaking about over there on the NL side,
go ahead with the Braves. You gotta.
They got the deepest roster in the major leagues, and the fact that all of their star players are signed for the next 3 or 4 years is crazy.
Yeah.
So all they got to do is stay healthy and just play. I mean, the Braves, they stay healthy. They're going to give a shot. But the New York Mets, with that pitching staff, if those old guys can hold up as the pitchers, the Mets is still going to give the Braves a run to the end.
Yeah. Don't forget the Dodgers, and they play this week, too. That's going to be a nice early matchup.
Can never count out the Dodgers, though.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers will win the NL West. The Padres, again, a good young team that could make some noise. But we'll see. We got to see what Tatis comes back as for the Padres.
He come back Thursday. Look out.
If he comes back 90% of what he was before he left, the Padres going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Machado.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. And then in the NL Central, you got the Brewers, and they by themselves.
Sneaky. Yeah, the Brewers can sneak you. Yeah,
so. I know Professor had put out some players. Professor, who are some of the players you think we should keep an eye out for this year, especially in the early inning, besides Shohei? Shohei is the show. Shohei Ohtani is the show.
Yeah, let's kick it, because a lot of people that casually watch baseball, I'm going to give y'all some names that y'all really need to pay attention to. Luis Arias, the Miami Marlins, his batting average is lightning. It's 455 right now.
Wow.
So look out for him to continue that. Now, I know he's down in Miami, but the boy is electric. Please watch him this summer. And the home run man himself, Pete Alonso, New York Mets. The Bama already hit 8 home runs already. So continue to see him slugging and hitting, swinging for the fence. Now, somebody that y'all don't know, I'm going to give you a couple of Baltimore Orioles. Ryan Mountcastle, he's got 20 RBIs already. And then Jorge Mateo got 8 stolen bases. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the stolen bases in a few minutes, but these two guys are young prospects for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, I know the team isn't that great right now, but just like the Nationals, give them a few years and you're going to start to see these young prospects start to dominate in their respective divisions. And then let me give you some more names. Yordan Alvarez, Houston Astros. He's got 20 RBIs as well already. Dane Dunning from the Texas Rangers. Now, he's got a 0 ERA. Now, I know he only pitched 1 game, but even in 1 game, that's giving you an indicator, a 0 ERA. That boy going to be sub 1 the first half of this season. You just watch. And speaking of sub 1, Sonny Gray from the Minnesota Twins got a 0.5 ERA, fellas. And then, of course, I know he just got hurt, but Jacob deGrom was on fire. He had 32 Ks and counting already. So we'll see what's happening with that hand moving forward. Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays has 28 hits already. And then Shane Bieber from the Cleveland Guardians has 4 quality starts. So those are some 10 key players that y'all need to pay attention to throughout this season.
Yeah, and we got some good matchups to look forward to this week. You got the LA Angels versus the Yankees. So
that's going to be a good one.
Good, nice one. The young Blue Jays against the champion Astros. The Brewers against the young Mariners.
Man, that's some good game.
Braves against the Padres is just going to be crazy.
Just in time for Tatis.
That should be a crazy series.
Entertainment.
Mets at the Dodgers. Come on now. So, yeah, there's some good stuff going on this week. And then the Astros end up the weekend at the Braves. So, good Lord. So, yeah. So, if you like baseball, it is definitely time, peek in, check in. Again, we know it's a long season. And so we will talk about that. Speaking of that, the professor's got some little more on baseball to give y'all before we give you our final post.
All right. So let me hit you with some post takes surrounding the boys of summer real quick. It'll be short and sweet. So Major League Baseball is off to a hot start. There are some new additions, including the new pitch clock, limits on defensive shifts, and larger bases. The impact has already been felt roughly 16 to 17 games into the young season. More stolen bases and hits are up. It is a little tougher for pitchers to control games, and the action has sped up. Larger bags are making close calls less close, so fielding and making accurate throws becomes slightly more important. All around, the rule changes forces skill level improvement, and lazy defense is a no-no. On average, games are 25 minutes shorter, and beer and alcohol sales are ending in the 6th inning in some parks instead of the 7th. Baseball had to make changes because it was losing its market share and the games were not watchable for larger audiences. Predictions were necessary tonight, fellas and ladies who are out there. We'll make our cases and predictions tonight. And before we get out of here, I just want to hear, because I gave mine. I said Yankees. I heard Sense say Yankees, but I ain't really hear anything from J3 and Big Red. So to close out this section here, we gotta hear what you guys think. Who's going to be hot leading up to the All-Star break?
I don't have a comment because I'm not really a baseball fan. I mean, I watch it, but I can't give you an accurate person.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna work on you this year, J3. I'm gonna work on you.
I think the young Rays are so young, they don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think going into
Red Sox.
Man, please.
Yeah, that
BJ.
That's a hard guess. I think these young Rays come the All-Star break will still be in the running. And again, we'll see how that happens. And again, I like the Astros to right their wrongs and be real hot by mid-season. And of course, in the NL, I told you, the Braves are the best of the best as far as all-around clubs. So the Braves should be nice, and you always got the Dodgers who are going to figure out a way at the end to be in it. So
I see what you did there. Now, Tampa Bay, I'll agree with you. They got a young phenom in Wander Franco who is electric to watch, and they got 3 starting pitchers that are going to be hell to deal with down the stretch of the season. So I hear you on that, Big Reg.
Yeah. All right, fellas, it is time for us to get up out of here. Before we do that, we got to hit the folks with our final post. J3, why don't you kick us off?
Real quick, it's springtime, fellas. The sun is shining. The mornings are crisp and cool. We need to get out there and get on our bikes and let's put some work in.
Let's do it.
Professor, what you got for us?
Yeah, I'm going to just go back to what I mentioned earlier. You know, fans out there, just understand that we do this to have fun, to really kick it with our buddies and to just have a good time. But you got to draw the line when you start giving death threats to kids. The young lady was out there rooting for her father, cheering against the other team like any kid is supposed to. She was having fun. So your team lost. Why would you send death threats to a 9 or 10-year-old just because you pissed off that your team didn't advance in the playoffs? Man, we got to get better and knock this stuff off.
Lame. So
Couldn't
lame.
have said it better. Since I know what you're going to talk about. What you looking forward to this weekend, bro?
You doubt it, and you doubt it, and you doubt it. But the day is coming. It's finally here. It's for real. Tank and Garcia. Woo! And it's getting so good that they said they putting their purse on the line. What you think about that?
So who's your prediction? And who do you think gonna win?
Tank. Of course, Tank. Tank probably, like, I don't know. I'd say about 6 rounds. 6-round knockout.
We got to get together to watch that fight, y'all.
Today is Tuesday. We got 4 more days. I'm just saying. I will believe it when they walking down the aisle to get into the ring. That's all I'm saying. All this bravado sounds good.
Wow.
I'm sorry. And supposedly, there's supposed to be an announcement after this fight, from what I'm hearing.
We gotta get together to watch that fight, though. I'm with you, bro, because we gotta get together to watch that.
My final post is we got to get through 9 more days of this line season. You're going to get a whole bunch of crazy stuff come out over this next week and 2 days. Unfortunately, there's going to be 1 or 2 players that get hit with some straight BS that's going to hurt their draft status and cost them millions of dollars. It happens every year. It's deplorable that NFL teams do this, but they want to draft the players, so they put out stuff about players to hope that they can fall to them, and it's terrible. But 9 more days. So next week we're going to talk about the draft a little bit, as well as the NBA playoffs, and hopefully Tank Garcia. All right, thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time and opportunity to share our positions on sports with you. Please tune in next Tuesday at 8 p.m. for our next live show. You can also download this show and our previous shows on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, or listen to the shows on your favorite podcast platform. All you have to do is put in Positions on Sports Talk Show. Find us, like and subscribe. Subscriptions are free. We greatly appreciate it. As always, again, we appreciate your time and appreciate the opportunity to share our positions with you. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
God bless.
See ya.
It's here now.